hope, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Gather the spirit of heart and mind, seeds for the sowing are laid in store, nurtured in love and conscience refined, with body and spirit united once more. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Gather the spirit growing in all, drawn by the moon and fed by the sun, winter to spring and summer to fall, the chorus of life resounding as one. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again.
Church of Boulder. My name, there we go. We'll try that again. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Boulder. My name is Tom Dankenwolf, and I serve as a member of the worship team. One thing I love about this congregation is how much the adults smile and wave at all of the new children. Personal. If you're joining us online, please fill out the visitor form in the link in the description. We'd love to connect with you. Part of our mission is to connect bravely, and we're glad that you're sharing part of your Sunday here all together. Many of us were once, too, seeking for something larger than ourselves to which we could belong, a sense of rootedness to hold us as we create meaning together. We do that well here, though not perfectly. In this congregation, we strive for perfection. We strive not for perfection. Example. We strive not for perfection, but for authenticity and connection. Whether it's your first time in worship with us or your 100th time, we hope that you'll find here questions that stretch you, people to befriend you, and liberal religious values that challenge you to join us in loving boldly, living justly, and welcoming radically. We are a community co-created by all of us together. Today, we especially recognize the volunteers who sustain UUCB. Your investment of time and talent is astounding, literally thousands of hours. Each of us are the individual leaves which collectively grow a forest grove. Reverend David will share more about our aspen grove later in the service. We begin our service by lighting the chalice, symbol of our Unitarian Universalist tradition. It is a cup of life, sustenance to quench our spirit's thirst, a cup of celebration and resolve, a flame of hope, a light to warm our souls and guide us home. Today we have a special guest to light the chalice. Kay Kreider is a longtime Unitarian Universalist and has worked as a visioning and fundraising consultant to too many of our congregations to name. She has been working with our Capital Campaign team to prepare and plan for the campaign this winter, and we are delighted to welcome her to offer a reflection for our chalice lighting this morning. Okay?
Good morning. It's great to be with you. We are at a pivotal time in history. Last night, I went out to dinner with a friend from the area, and she told me a story of the night before when she was on a walk going down her street, and she saw in the distance a person with a dog, walking a dog, and noticed that they slipped behind a tree as soon as they saw her. And she was curious about that and kept walking, and as she got closer, she realized that the person was hiding from her. And sorry to get a little choked up about this. And so she greeted them and saw that they were from a marginalized community, and they were worried that somebody was going to see them. And so as a UU, and like you, this really is our time to step up. We have justice work, we have safe spaces for people, we support each other in our journeys together, nourish spirits of all ages. And it's crucial in today's challenging world. So this congregation has invested a lot of time and energy in so many things, including your visioning for your building. And your plans make clear that your intention is to continue to build a hub for action and resilience, both spiritual and physical, and to have a welcoming space for all. So I light this chalice for your vision to nurture a space of wisdom, inclusivity, and service in defiance of all who seek to oppress and exclude.
Oh, good morning. It's good to be together. It is a beautiful fall day. Today, we recognize a child among us, and we mark her presence and name and bless her. This dedication is the act by which parents and families and all of us, this whole community, friends and congregation, that's right, Xavier, we profess our intention to do everything in our power to guide a child in the ways of beauty and truth and love. And we rededicate ourselves to the remaking of the world, that this world might be safe enough and just enough and beautiful and loving enough to receive this new and deserving member. In our liberal religious tradition, we don't believe that original sin needs to be cleansed from our children. Instead, in this ceremony, we dedicate ourselves to these children and we baptize them in love. And so can I invite Xavier and her parents, Scott and LJ, to come forward?
LJ and Scott, you come with serious and solemn purpose, first to dedicate yourself as parents. Will you care for one another tenderly and nourish in Xavier a loving and open heart, an honest and searching mind, an upright conscience, and a wonder-filled spirit? If so, respond, we do. We do. Children and youth, this is your important moment in the dedication. If you would stand on your seat so that we can see you, that would be great. Perfect. Yes, or on your person's shoulders, also an excellent choice. Thank you, Sky. You are the closest to Xavier in age and will work and play together in the same world. It is good that at this time, Xavier should be surrounded by all of you and your good wishes. Do you promise to respect and care for Xavier, to teach and learn from and know her? If so, respond, we do. Awesome. Thank you. Gathered community, do you here pledge yourselves to the best of your abilities to serve with love as a model and guide to Xavier and a support to her parents? Do you take upon yourselves the privilege and responsibility to defend and encourage the freedom of this child and the growth of her spirit? If so, respond, we do. We do.
We should come back to the mic. What name do you give this child?
Xavier Rosalie.
Xavier Rosalie. You are named by the love of your parents, and we name you as your parents have named you. May you know great joy, great peace, and great love. We bless you with water. Will you grab the water? This is the water from our water communion service earlier, and from 40 years or more, cleaned and purified and used now to bless you, your head and your hands and your heart. We dedicate your thoughts and your words and your deeds to serving our common life and humanity. And we give each of you, parents and child, a flower. No thorns, don't worry. This flower is the unfolding life that you live. A flower grows only when it receives care and nurture. Grab it, go for it. It's amazing. Yeah, exactly. And no flower grows alone. So too, no child grows alone, right? Xavier, your parents often bless you with this prayer. And you may know the words of this, even if you don't quite know words yet. Xavier Rosalie, angels will protect you, spirit will guide you, your heart will drive you, the universe will hold you. Your friends and family and community are always here for you. And your mommy and daddy love you very, very, very much. You are a blessing. That's right. Xavier, may your days be long, and may you be blessed and be a blessing on this earth. Amen. That's so lovely. Thank you so much.
As our children and youth get ready to go to their religious education classes, we're going to sing a family favorite. I'm going to cry while I explain this to you because it's so clear and it makes me so joyful that this beautiful child gets to hear this song on a regular basis because, as you have seen in these 12 minutes that we have known Xavier, it's so obvious that she is a beautiful, radiant light that is here in the world. So I'm so glad that she's learning already that she's got a gorgeous light and she's going to let it shine. And so do have we. So it's just such a good reminder. All right. And if you want, you can do a little light just like Sunday school, but if that's upsetting to you, don't do it. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go. it shine everywhere I go. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. And I had to put in one of the fun ones. Hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let's bring it on home. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. I have to help you. This little light of mine. There you go. There you go. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. 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 Good job.
Spiritual practice, prayer or meditation, or for that matter, stillness or singing together. Spiritual practice, deep listening without trying to fix or save or give advice, but just to hear someone else into speech. Spiritual practice moves at a different speed, on a different rhythm than so much of our everyday lives. I think of that sometimes when I'm rushing through the world, when it feels like I need to do more and be more and produce more. But I think of that also in a time like this, when the news of the world around us seems to come so fast and sometimes so overwhelming. What I need is to remember that the pace of change, of growth, of grounding, the time it takes to be really rooted, that unfolds on a very different schedule than the news cycle or my to-do list. The words for reflection today are called the Seven of Pentacles by the poet Marge Percy. The Seven of Pentacles in the tarot deck is a farmer who's grown these thick vines, a farmer at the end of the season before the harvest. And the poet writes this, first describing that image. Under a sky the color of pea soup, she's looking at her work growing away there actively, thickly, like grapevines or pole beans, as things grow in the real world, slowly enough. If you tend them properly, if you mulch, if you water, if you provide birds that eat insects a home and winter food, if the sun shines and you pick off caterpillars, if the praying mantis comes and the ladybugs and the bees, then the plants flourish, but at their own internal clock. Connections are made slowly. Sometimes they grow underground. You cannot always tell by looking what's happening. More than half the tree is spread out in the soil under your feet. Penetrate quietly as the earthworm that blows no trumpet. Fight persistently as the creeper that brings down the tree. Spread like squash plants that overrun the garden. Gnaw in the dark and use the sun to make sugar. Weave real connections, create real nodes, build real houses. Live a life you can endure. Make love that is loving. Keep tangling and interweaving and taking more in. A thicket and bramble wilderness to the outside, but to us, interconnected with rabbit runs and burrows and lairs. Live as if you liked yourself. And it may happen. Reach out, keep reaching out, keep bringing in. This is how we are going to live for a long time. Not always. For every gardener knows that after the digging, after the planting, after the long season of tending and growth, the harvest comes. Our hope, our prayer this morning, our intention is a kind of remembering of the slowness of real growth. That setting down roots takes time, takes effort, takes energy, takes investing ourselves into each other's lives. Our hope, our prayer, our intention is to move slowly, to let the work of the seasons of our own growing unfold patiently, unfold in their own time. To remember that we can't rush the flower by prying it open, that each of us blooms in our own time, in our own season. And two, that there are seasons of quiet, of silence, seasons of sadness, and that none of these things is the end ultimately. Just as the wheel of the year turns, our own heart and spirit turns from one season to the next in our own living. And our hope, our prayer, and our intention is to be patient gardeners of our own souls. We'll be together in silence for a few moments. Amen. When we say that our mission is in part to always love, it means that we actively seek, we practice the seeking of connection, of compassion, of a fundamental empathy across the boundaries and borders that might otherwise divide people. Each week in the service, I invite you to come forward to take a stone to symbolize your joys, your sorrows, both at once, and then place it in the earth. This stone, a symbol of your own interior landscape, made visible. And it's a private act and a personal act, right? That stone, placed in silence as the music carries us, it's a symbol of a private grief or a private joy. And this is a community act altogether. What we make is a whole. This miniature landscape of our inner lives, unique and united. I have one blessing to share today. Evie writes that she is very glad to have her grandma here with her today. For all the blessings, for all the concerns we carry, we hold this compassionate space with love. And I invite you, if you're moved, to come forward, starting with the back and then the sides, to place a stone.
can play the game and you can act out the part, though you know it wasn't written for you. Tell me, how can you stand there with your broken heart, ashamed of playing the fool? But one thing can lead to another. It doesn't take any sacrifice. Whoa, father and mother and sister and brother, if it feels nice, don't think twice. Just shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna turn out right if we only will. I do believe it's true now. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way you feel. Things are gonna be much better if we only will. Well, you can run, but you cannot hide. This is widely known. What you plan to do with your foolish pride when you're all by yourself alone. Once you tell somebody the way that you feel, you will see it beginning to ease. I guess it's true what they say about the squeaky wheel, always getting the grease. But better to shower the people you love with love. Show them the way you feel. Things are gonna be just fine if you only will. What I'd like to say to you, shower the people you love with love. Show them the way you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way you feel. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way you feel. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Everybody sing. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way you feel. One more time. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way you feel.
Oh, it's good to have y'all play. Once you tell someone about the way you feel, you can feel it start to ease, I think was one of those lyrics. It reminds me that years and years ago, living in another state, in another life, with one small child and another on the way, a friend invited me into this small circle of men, most of us, I think, in our early 30s, similar sort of stage of life, to gather monthly to spend a few hours in a deep check-in with each other. Not to talk things through or hash things out exactly, not to check in and get advice and suggestions, but just to say in a sort of an unguarded and an undefended way what was really going on in our lives. We would rotate through our different living rooms while our spouses, partners gave space. And we told each other, in fact, each time how we were actually doing. We told each other things we did not know about ourselves until we'd spoken them out loud. And we talked about love and loss and hope and relationships and failure, our own. We talked about all the things that men in this culture don't usually talk about. We said things that we hadn't known we knew, hadn't known we could say before we said them. And it wasn't therapy, though it was therapeutic. And it wasn't finding solutions, though sometimes solutions just appeared unbidden. Like us gathered in this community, I did not need those guys to tell me how to live my life or what to do or how to do it. I needed them to give me space for my soul to show up. That was the work that kept me grounded and connected, that kept me in touch with myself, my heart, the center of me, the soul of me, that kept me from losing the thread of the person that I was, the person that I was becoming. Connections are made slowly, said the poet. Sometimes they grow underground. You can't always tell by looking at what's happening. Spread like the squash plant that overruns the garden. Weave real connections. Live a life you can endure. What they taught me many years ago is that I don't think you can grow your soul on your own. I think it takes community. You can't lower your guard. You can't take off your masks in theory. You can only do that in practice. You can't find depth in the abstract. It takes regular, intentional cultivation of that listening and silence and reflection and time and space. People who can hear you into speech. People who can make room for that shy soul to show up in the world. In Matthew's gospel, the teacher tells his followers not to judge people on what they say, but on what they do. This is by their fruits you shall know them, right? That is how their beliefs shape their actual living of life. That's how you know what a person believes. And fair enough, but I appreciate also the 20th century Unitarian theologian James Luther Adams. Adams, who grew up watching the labor movement find victories in the 20s and 30s, a century ago. Adams, who spent a chunk of the 30s in Germany watching that country crumble under the weight of totalitarianism. He said instead, by their groups you shall know them. By their groups you shall know them. He thought that you know what a person is about by the relationships that they hold, by the organizations into which they invest their time and their life. That's how you know. What you give your life to is the person you become. The Greek philosopher Epictetus said it more than 2,000 years ago. He said, you become what you give your attention to. And if you yourself don't choose what thoughts and images you expose yourself to, someone else will. So, says Adams, by their groups you shall know them. What are the relationships you're cultivating? What are the places where you're growing? In a voluntary organization like ours, you choose to be here, the heart of the thing is relationship. If this building was swallowed by the earth tomorrow, and I hope it's not because I have a few meetings, but if it was, the church wouldn't be injured because what it is the community. It's the interconnected, the interspreading, the ecosystem of all of us, of relationships. Elders and babies and working folks and retirees and students and teachers, the real substance of this place is the connection we have each to all. And to be part of the community is to invest some portion of your life into those relationships. And it's simple to say, and it's hard. It's countercultural to do, to set down roots and let them grow at the pace that you grow. But whether you've been here for weeks or decades or minutes, some of you, that's the commitment that you make. And no matter how many days ahead or decades or minutes, we forget that sort of commitment from time to time. We retreat back into ourselves again. Sometimes hibernation is a strategy for survival when things are overwhelming. But we make this place together for each other. And we function as a largely volunteer-led congregation. The total number of volunteer hours that you all invest in this community is more than double the staff hours that we have each year. Every one of our groups and teams and committees, every one of these small communities within the large community, these places where you can find your circle, your people, all of them are led by folks who guide and convene and direct and write so many emails, right? Because that's how you convene and direct and organize. And I want to take a minute to appreciate the volunteers, everyone who creates this community together. The list is long. There are at least 40 different teams and groups and committees. There's the board of trustees, our building expansion teams, the design team working to develop the vision of where we're going. We're going that way mostly. The capital campaign team working to figure out how are we going to pay for it all together, each of us doing a little part of a whole. And then the list goes on, though, and I'm going to read them all, and I want this to be deliberately overwhelming to you. The personnel committee and the safety team, the finance council and the endowment team and the auction team, the leadership development team, the archives team, the pledge drive, the worship team, the caring team, our healthy congregation team, and greeters and ushers and religious education teachers and our whole lives teachers, our adult religious exploration committee. I hope you're taking notes. There will be a quiz. The choir, the musicians, the Chancel Cats band, and so many other musicians. Our AV team, who is heroically in that little booth back there every single Sunday. Yep. That's right. I mean, we could applaud everyone, but it's a very small and a very dedicated crew. I'm grateful for them. We're not even halfway done. There's the Trees and Gardens group, our Indigenous Justice team, and our Food Justice Veggie Garden. You who know all of these growing metaphors much better than I ever will. Our Immigration Justice team, who continues to be in touch with and support Ingrid and her kids who lived in sanctuary in this building for more than 4 years. Our Racial Justice team, our Climate Action team, who I got an email this week saying, let's start planning our Earth Day service. I love it. Democracy Defenders, which just started up this fall and a week ago, had more than 50 folks gathered in the building to talk about how do we defend and preserve our democracy. We are more than halfway done. There are all of these connection teams. After the service today in the Sky Room, we have our Connections Fair and all of these affinity groups, places to connect and go deep with each other, are going to have tables up, and you can learn more, sign up for mailing lists, get some of those emails. I feel very old, though, that the young adult group, it does not use email to communicate with each other. I feel like, ooh, what strange technologies do you all use? There is our young adult group, our millennial-ish group, a midlife oasis Gen Xer-ish group, parents and caregivers, and single women aging gracefully who wins the award for best banner in there. I saw that this morning, it's awesome. and our senior salon and wise elders, our LGBTQ group, our men's group, and women's book group, and art gallery, Soul Art Gallery. There's a new art show up this morning. And our Soul Matters small groups and women's spirituality groups. And I'm sure I have forgotten something. And I apologize to whoever it is I've forgotten. And even all of that list doesn't tell the whole story of volunteers co-creating this community, because there are so many more of you who have brought food and washed dishes and moved furniture. That is a significant part of the work of ministry, is moving furniture, and setting up tables and flipping pancakes and burgers. This place, this physical church, this congregation, this community is built, is created, and recreated daily, weekly by volunteers. We see you, and we honor you, and we thank you for your capacity to offer that time and energy to create the sort of world, the sort of community that you want to live in, and then inviting the next person to join in alongside. My friend and colleague, the Reverend Sean Neil Barron up at Foothills in Fort Collins, he says, "Why church?" And then he answers it in a dozen different ways. There's no one answer, he says. Not one that would last a whole lifetime. Not one that's the same for each of us. Why church? He says, it's the feeling we get gathered for imperfect worship. A collection of friends and strangers united by an almost indescribable promise that answers a question coded deep within us, this need to belong, to be reminded of that belongingness. Why? Why in a society that tells me to be self-made, to hold all my cards close to my chest, I need a community that reminds me I exist because we are. And if the choice were independence or interdependence, there's no question I choose the gnarly path. We all go down together. Here we have stories and practices, Sean says, rituals and music, ancestors, yes, and baggage too. But you don't need to strike out on your own. You don't need to make it all up by yourself. And look around. You don't have to do it on your own. You have people. This community is like a base camp with teams fanning out, forming rapid response networks of prayer and safe passage for all who seek safety, self-determination, and shelter. We feed each other and we're fed. We dismantled the prisons of supremacy living within us and around us. And all the while, we grow awkwardly and lovingly. We grow navigating this mission that calls us to the brink of all that we love and knows and invites us, commands us to keep going, to step out, to commit to be changed on whatever pace that might happen. And though you may not always feel the underlying chorus, you may not always be in touch with that music underneath it all, what church can do ultimately is to make love tangible, not just theoretical. One body. An aspen grove is strong because its roots are woven together. It is, in fact, one body underneath the soil, with shoots coming up that look like individual trees. They share that solidness underneath all of them. And then each individual leaf turns sunlight into sweetness and sends it back down through the roots to nourish the whole. Connections are made slowly among us and within us. That growth happens at its own time, in its own pace. And we remember that and name it and recommit ourselves to that work day by day. Amen. Friends, several times each year, we have the joy of welcoming new members into this community. And each time a new person joins this community, it changes them and it changes all the rest of us too. To recognize and welcome new members is to remake the church as much as we're going to when we expand this building. We're here to do this holy and mundane work of making a life in community. We're here to cry together and to laugh together and sing together and sit silent. And we are here to serve on committees and send so many emails and bring food for potlucks and mourn our dead and bless our children and break our hearts open to the world. So I'm glad to be joined by Scott and to invite our new members who've signed and become members but not yet been recognized in one of these rituals to come forward.
To become a member is to pledge yourself to the common good of this church. You are not just a consumer, but a co-creator. To be a member means to welcome the next people coming through our doors. Each new member who joins our church brings gifts and needs, questions and answers. We welcome each of you for the unique contributions you have to make to our congregation, and for the unrealized potential within us that you help bring forth. We are the stewards holding this church in trust for the generations that will succeed us. We give you these books, Food for the Mind. We give you the care and community of all those here as a token of your lifelong spiritual unfolding. We give you these roses brought forth from the earth. I interchanged these two. Room for the heart and soul to grow. May this be a house that holds the fullness of your life, body and mind, heart and soul.
Congregation, community, belonging. You know this well, that belonging is only something that can come from all of you. In that spirit, will you welcome our new members, welcome them with joy, and affirm them and pledge to support them? Will you work to know them and allow yourselves to be known? And will you commit to being one people, unique and united? If so, please give an enthusiastic "we will."
We will. New members, will you accept the gifts and responsibilities of membership and the covenant of love, respect, and service? Will you pledge to support our congregation and the association of which it is a part as we are able with our hearts and hands, our talents and treasures? If so, please give an enthusiastic "we will." We will. And quickly before you sit, may I introduce everyone. We have Rihanna Wiggins, Lena Bell Wesley, Crescent Carrasco, A.D. Chesley, Dee Mallard, Greg Ginocchio. I believe you may have already met Scott Scarbillion, Xavier, and L.J. Werner.
I feel like we should do some singing. Should we do some singing? Let's do some singing. Friends, will you rise in body or in spirit? Let's sing together.
If you like the books, we're in the blue one now. You don't have to.
Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow. just might have a problem that you'd understand. We all need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear that you can't carry, I'm right up the road. I'll share your load if you just call me, lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lead. Here we go. You just call on me, neighbor, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might. Here comes the big ending. We all need somebody to lean on.
Well done.
This month, we split our offering with Teepee Raisers, which strives to alleviate conditions of poverty, honor Indigenous wisdom, reconcile our shared history with the peoples of the First Nations, and empower youth with the leadership skills needed to effect social change in their communities. Jim and Karen Churnside, co-leaders of UUCB's Indigenous Justice Group, are home sick today, but they share this message. On behalf of the Indigenous Justice Group, we want to thank everyone for the support this community has provided. In addition to the financial support from Share the Plate, during the 2024-2025 church year, UUCB volunteers contributed more than 1,200 hours supporting the people of Pine Ridge, Hopi, and Navajo reservations. You do make a difference. Sorry, COVID is keeping us away. We hope to see you soon. I invite you to give as generously as you are able. For those online, you can use the QR code or find a link in the video description. For those gathered in person, you can scan the QR code or make a donation as the ushers now pass the baskets. May our gifts be used to enact justice, bringing peace and love to the Boulder community and the wider world.
feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will dry them all. I'm on your side. Oh, when times get rough and friends just can't be found, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down. When you're down and out, when you're on the street, when evening falls so hard, I will comfort you. I'll take your part. Oh, when darkness comes and pain is all around, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down. Sail on, silver girl, sail on by. Your time has come to shine. All your dreams are on their way. See how they shine. Oh, if you need a friend, I'm sailing right behind, like a bridge over troubled water. I will ease your mind, like a bridge over troubled water. I will ease your mind.
Before we close, I have 3 invitations and 1 save the date. Today during coffee hour is our Connections Fair, where you can learn more and sign up to be a part of more than a dozen affinity groups and teams. This afternoon at 5, come back for our fall equinox ritual and dinner. Bring a branch of fall leaves, or fresh fall flowers, or homemade bread, or harvest from your garden to help build our altar. Enjoy a potluck meal and activities after the ritual. And Back to Religious Education Night is this Friday, September 24th, from 5:30 to 7:30. It's for parents of infants, kids, and teens, and there's programming for kids age 0 through 5th grade. Dinner will be provided. Please RSVP to Rachel. Finally, excitingly, please save the date on Sunday, November 9th at 12:30 for a special congregational meeting to authorize our capital campaign to expand the building. Much more info to come in the weeks ahead. Will you rise in body or spirit as we close in song?
I love to close with this one because even though we might not all live in the same neighborhood or see each other at work every day, it's really good to remember that your community is always with you. We have a slide for this one, and if it doesn't come up, the words are, "From this house to the world, we will go, hand in hand, literally and metaphorically."